Who's afraid of marriage therapy? Removing the stigma of therapy, plus a list of local experts to help start you on the path. It's usually a hushed whisper, "I hear they're in therapy." Suspicion, speculation, and general "glad it's not us" comments tend to follow, fueled by the sinking feeling that another relationship is about to bite the dust. But why is being in marriage counseling a bad thing? It's time we turned the tables on getting help. Rachel's parents were married for 40 years when her father dropped the bomb. 2 months after their 40th anniversary, he told us he was leaving my mom for someone else. There was no discussion, no visit to the therapist. All of a sudden, he was out of the marriage, Rachel remembers. He'd gone through the steps it takes to end a marriage, but he did it all by himself. At the time, Rachel was 33, she'd been married to her husband for 7 years, and they had 2 kids in preschool. Rachel had watched her parents grow apart for years. Anyone who was paying attention could have seen this coming, my mom included, she says. And while dealing with the weight of her parents' divorce, she had a moment of panic that she and Jeff might be headed down the same road. I could tell we had started to become unhappy. I wanted to make sure that what happened to my parents didn't happen to us. They agreed to see a marriage therapist. Catherine shakes her head at the notion that seeking counseling is something to be embarrassed about. When you have a toothache, you're not pulling out your own damn teeth, you go to a dentist for that, she says. Emotional health is just as important as physical health. She adds, you love this person. You don't want to be the one making them miserable. Perhaps the best argument for seeking therapy, however, is kids. According to Scharf, whose work focuses on how our earliest childhood relationships shape the connections we seek for the rest of our lives, moving through life in a passionless or indifferent state is not benign, it erodes your self-esteem every day. Kids soak that up. When you do or don't choose therapy, what are you modeling for your kids? Scharf poses. Some couples may be afraid to let their children know they're seeing a therapist, because they don't want their kids to be worried or let them see the fault lines in the marriage. But the truth is that if you have difficulties, your kids know. It's a relief for kids to know their parents aren't afraid to acknowledge what is true and ask for help. It also models that when you are feeling overwhelmed or upset, you don't have to suffer in silence or struggle on your own.